With Solomon no Kagi coming out right on the heels of Babel no To, you might think that we're starting to see a flood of action puzzle games. But this one's just one of those weird coincidences. There's only 2 more action puzzle games for the rest of the year, and 4 games aren't really a trend. The title, Solomon's Key, is taken from a real-world grimoire. You've probably seen illustrations from it before, since it's a common reference for anyone who wants some elaborate-looking magic. In the game, Donna the Witch is attempting to recover the book. They'll have to go through 50 stages of puzzle-solving action before they have a chance to get it. Dana's primary method of solving puzzles is creating and destroying blocks. Pressing the A button swings your wand in front of you, and if there's a block there, it's destroyed, and if there isn't a block there, one is created. You can crouch down to make blocks below you, and you can inch your way out onto the edge of blocks to get one further away. Technically, the only thing you have to do on each stage is get the key and then get to the exit. But you're going to want to do more than that. There are 12 zodiac shrines that you pass through, and you'll want to collect the panels for each symbol, since they're required to complete the game. There's a lot more items than that to collect, but here's the thing. You're probably not going to be able to complete 50 stages in one go. You're going to get a lot of game overs as you figure things out, and you'll have to continue by pressing up A and B on the game over screen. But when you do that, Donna is completely reset. So although you can collect extra lives, things to extend your power, spells to blast enemies, none of them are really worth it when you're going to have to keep continuing. Unless a pickup is part of your solution to a puzzle, I wouldn't worry about getting any of it. But let's go over these items really quick anyways. The jars are going to be the most helpful items. They're spells that let you throw a fireball. The fire tracks along the surface that it strikes, and it'll keep going for a distance. The large fire penetrates enemies, which will take out a lot at once, and if you pick up that jar, then it's always the next spell that you'll cast. The fireballs show up on the scroll on the upper right, and you use one by pressing B. The scroll can be extended, which will let you hold more fireballs. You do that by picking up these scroll items. The red and blue crystals extend the range of the fireball. The bell causes a fairy to emerge from the door. If you collect 10 fairies, then you get an extra life. One of the more annoying aspects of Solomon no Kagi is the platforming. You have to press up to jump in this game, and I often found it to be a little bit flaky. You do have a good deal of air control though, and that's useful for solving some puzzles. As for those puzzles, they do lean more heavily onto the action side of action puzzle. A lot of the stages deal with you mitigating enemy movement, which does mean that fast reflexes and accurate movement is often part of a solution. Learning enemy behavior is a huge part of the game. Enemies smash blocks just as well as Donna does. A lot of solutions wind up being throw blocks in their path over and over again until you can get further. Solomon no Kagi is a game that actively pushes back against introspection. On most stages, it's fatal if you stop to think. And on some, it's fatal if you don't react in the first half second. I have a couple useful gameplay tips. Don't forget that dropping enemies that walk along the ground is fatal to them. Your fireballs are very much a use 'em or lose 'em situation. You won't have them when you continue, so feel free to fire away. A common technique for solving puzzles is to keep building a big wall that enemies keep smashing. Finally, don't bother with the bags and the coins, they're just points. Solomon no Kagi started out in the arcade, and it seems like that would be a bad fit there, but perfect for a home console. The game wound up getting a pretty late disk system re-release, and an extremely late sequel on the Famicom. There's also some enhanced remakes on other platforms. The Game Boy got Solomon's Club, while on the PC Engine, it was completely rethemed to tie into the movie Zipeng. I wind up feeling kind of mixed on Solomon no Kagi. It is a solid action puzzler, and there's plenty of variety in that action. But the quirks in the movement and the control scheme and how they weren't able to really move past the paradigm of extra lives and continue codes, they wind up dragging the game down a bit. If the game had a password system that lets you continue from where you left off, I think I'd feel a bit better about it. In the end, I do think the game is distinctive enough that I want to come back to it and try to beat all 50 stages, but it's not a strong pull where I can't wait to get back into it.